Christchurch, Boulder Ave, Kiwi2 down there. That's where we are today, and we're on the road. The phone is set up. I'm not driving while I'm recording because New Zealand Road Safety wrote me a very nice letter saying we love your videos, but please do not be distracted while you are driving. So no longer driving while recording, even in the holder. I don't give a fuck. Today I've got some good news. For those of you that care about what you put into your mouth and how it affects your whole being, which it does, of course, massively, I can report to you that Dr. Glen Davies, a very close friend of mine, someone who I hold in huge respect, but also a mate. We flattered together, we've done all sorts of things together, some mad things together I can't even tell you about on here. Last year, Dr. Glen Davies, hey, I'm doing a vlog, at the Taupo Medical Centre, he was nominated for the Best General Practitioner of the Year award New Zealand wide, and he almost won it. There was one guy a little bit ahead of him. Last night, this year, 2021, he has won it. So he is now voted Best GP entire New Zealand. Do you know how many doctors, general practitioners there are in New Zealand? Why did he get that prestigious award? Now, I do believe it's actually a medical company behind that funds this and makes this all happening, or there's something in the interim there, but it's got nothing to do with drugs, because he treats his patients with exercise and diet and mindset, predominantly the keto diet. He has a huge success rate, a massive success rate in treating his patients with diabetes type 2 and a myriad of other illnesses and conditions. And Pace is looking at a dog across the road wanting to jump out and get it. And it's quite a nice looking dog too, a white dog. But no, you're not going to get it. I'll just pan the camera and you guys will see what we're talking about. There he is, goes over there. And the guy's now seeing me point a camera thinking I'm being rude. We'll carry on. So, the ketogenic diet. What do I know about it? Quite a bit actually. Dr. Glen Davies was one of the 4 doctors that I spoke to when I decided about making the transition and changing to the keto diet. Well over 2 years ago I've been on it now, combined with intermittent fasting. So for me, I eat once every 24 hours. There is so much research that talks about why this is good for you and what you can achieve. Now for men, the keto diet is particularly good. For women, it's slightly different. Women have different, their hormones are different. They have more estrogen they require. So sometimes they need to go out of the keto diet more than us men. I do go out of the keto diet occasionally. That means I eat a few potatoes and kumara. Maybe I've done it twice in the last 2 years where I have a wee break, and that's to build up fat if my weight gets too low. So look at your BMI, look at how much you're supposed to be, and you can work sort of margins either side. There's an area of green you can go in. If you are too high with your weight, then you need to seriously consider the ketogenic diet. If you are suffering from depression, if you are suffering from anxiety, if you're suffering from inflammation, if you're suffering from diabetes type 2, or you're heading towards diabetes type 2, if you're becoming insulin resistant, if you have high blood pressure. I used to have high blood pressure. Gone. Perfect blood pressure now. There's nothing worse than a person that's found something new that's making them feel good and they want to start telling you about it. You know, about the born again Christian or the born again this or the born again that. I don't want to come across as one of those people. All I want to share, particularly with you men, is this diet will only benefit you. Yes, you will struggle in the first 2 or 3 weeks to get through it as your body adapts, because you've been putting, if you have been putting rubbish in your body your entire life, that means refined carbohydrates, processed foods, and worst of all, sugar. Anything with sugar in, be it jam, tomato sauce, anything. And sugar is in so much stuff. If you go to a whole food diet, your body will love you for it. And if you combine that with intermittent fasting, that means eating either once a day or giving your body at least a 16-hour opportunity of no food, no snacking, nothing at all, and eating within an 8-hour period, your body will love you for it. But it will take time for your body to change and the mitochondria, everything to start learning how to become fat burning adaptive so it can burn fat as a fuel. Because right now, the majority of you that are watching this will be burning carbohydrate and sugar as a fuel, which is a low form of fuel, and it's not sustainable, and you'll have to eat every, like 4 or 5 hours, or even less. Some people are poking food in their mouths every 3 or 4, at least every 2 hours. Go on a hard tramp or a hard hunt. You come hunting with me, and we might walk 11 or 12 hours in a day. Oh, bored, says Pace. And I won't eat any food. I just won't. I don't get hungry because I'm burning my fat for a fuel, and it's ketones. It's taking the fat, and being in ketosis means you're fueling your muscle and your brain. It's a whole different type of fuel. You can use both fuels. You can use ketones and you can use carbohydrates and sugars if you're in ketosis. You can't do that if you're just doing what most people are doing, just living off carbohydrates and sugars. You can't do it because your body doesn't know how to. So once you become fat burning adaptive, you can then start burning your fat as a fuel, and it's a great fuel. It's 30% more efficient than the fuel you're on now. So that gives you 30% more power. But this is only a tiny part of it. Other really cool things start happening. And do your research. Your brain starts to work better as you go into a state of autophagy. Your brain starts creating new neuro pathways, thinking clearer, and having insight into things like problem solving a lot better, because your brain goes, I need some food right now. Let's start problem solving and see how we can find food. What can we do to hunt something down, or forage something, or grow something, or it starts to think problem solving. So I like to hunt when I'm in a faster state. I like to fish when I'm in a faster state because I find it makes it more interesting. It keeps me sharper. It doesn't necessarily make me a better hunter, but it makes my prey drive much higher and the whole experience a lot more natural. Because when you think about it, many thousands of years, we didn't have fridges with food we just open up when we're hungry. We didn't have little Tupperware containers with nuts we could chew on. We had to go and find all the time, and much of life was spent looking for food, foraging for food, hunting for it, or it was spent parking up, eating the animal we've eaten, digesting it, and then resting for a long period of time. And then when the food ran out, we didn't have a fridge we could store it in. We might have a bit of fat hanging up on the tree that the animals couldn't get. We might chew on that for a while, but basically we went from foraging, hunting, to fasting. So fasting is a very natural thing for us to do, and we've evolved fasting. So if we didn't have a successful hunt, we didn't just die, we went into a faster state. And as you hunters know, sometimes if you're like me, you go out and you don't catch anything quite often. So while you were hunting or trying to find food, you might not find food. And your body didn't go, oh, I'm going to die now. It went into drawing all resources of your body. And that's where that state of autophagy, it starts drawing on all the old cells. And this cleans us up, takes all the old cells, even cells that could possibly become cancerous. We'll clean those up, reuse them, and smash you out. So you really feel a lot better on the ketogenic diet, but you've got to do it properly. There is no such thing as a cheat day. There's no such thing as doing dirty keto if you really want to be in a state of ketosis. Zero sugar, zero refined carbohydrates, and good nutritional food. That doesn't mean bread and pasta and chips and all the stuff, the comfort food. Forget about your comfort foods. You're not even going to want them. You can have a cream with your coffee in the morning if you really need some fat to start your day off. Smash the day out, and you might eat at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I have one meal a day. Generally, it's got protein, lots of fat, maybe avocado, some salmon, some nuts. Pecan nuts are really good, lots of different nuts. I don't overdo it on the nuts, and plenty of leafy green vegetables to get my potassium. Now, magnesium is something we all probably could do with a little bit more, and so I do take a supplement of magnesium every day. It helps me sleep, particularly if I've been going hard. And on a keto diet, you will need a little bit more salt because you're not retaining it like you do when you're eating all that junk food. That's why people get swollen ankles and swollen. That's retaining that sodium, so that salt. So your salt will go through you faster. So you're going to need plenty of salt on that diet. A lot of this goes against what we've been brought up to believe and what we've been taught. But when you think about it, Dr. Glen Davies, he's just won GP of the Year award, and this is what he advocates. And you will see this more and more to the forefront as more people become well, as we move away from this crap diet that we're all on now, of bloody eating cereals with sugar in the morning and fucking toast and bread and stuff that fills us up but has no nutritional value, except all it does is raises our insulin, making us become insulin resistant and causing a whole host of other illnesses. Inflammation is behind just about every disease you can think of. Just about every disease. When you're in ketosis and your body's in the state of burning fat and keeping lean and clean, you don't have inflammation. I used to suffer a lot of joint pain, and that was just another thing that went with being in ketosis on the keto diet. So give it some consideration. If you're not totally happy with your weight, you're not totally happy with your health, you're not totally happy with your energy level, you're not totally happy with your mindset, you're not totally happy with pain that you've got that you think you could do less. It's not a guaranteed fix for everything, but it makes a hell of a difference. And I have got multiple stories of men that have suffered all types of health conditions, from mental health to physical health, that today are in such a different state of mind. I've just been staying with my friend Peter Prue. Wow. Well, he's doing a video on that. He'll be bringing it out soon for you guys. But he's just one of the many men whose lives have just changed drastically. Got rid of all his meds, got rid of all his painkillers, and living how we're supposed to live. This video was made in the hopes that you can motivate yourself and that you can be strong enough to make a change in your life to better your life. You've got to really, really want to change. Sometimes it takes a crisis, like me. I got cancer. Sometimes, if you've got an open mind that wants to explore it, you will go there. Now, if you're into some sort of sport like weight training or powerlifting or bodybuilding, then the keto diet, you can make some changes to it. You can add more protein, because you're going to need more protein. If trying to build muscle is what you want, and strength training, then you can play around with it. But whatever you do, don't add sugar to it and don't add refined carbohydrates to it. Mostly it's supposed to be a fat diet. Because I'm quite physical, I add a little more protein to it. And because I only eat once a day, I add a little more protein. But overall, I'm in a state of ketosis most of the time because I only eat once every 24 hours or sometimes once every 48 hours when I drop a day of eating. And my energy levels are good. I have a pretty full-on life. Go steady. Smash the like button if you're still with me. And comment below if you want to know any questions at all. If you want to source information, go to Dr. Eric Berg. Over 3 million subscribers. Fantastic doctor on the subject of fasting and the ketogenic diet. But don't be afraid to ask me any questions and I will answer them below. And if you've got any testaments or testimonies of what it's done for you, please add them below so other people can read and get a little bit of confidence about the ketogenic diet. It's basically the old diet we used to have years ago before we started having all this shit that we've got in society today. Go steady. See you later. Right, we're on the road, Pace. We're on the road. Gonna go and see my son who's been at a party all night in Cheviot. Yes, and here comes another dog towards us. It's a greyhound with a cover on it. We'll just pin that round so you guys can see that there. And Pace is already looking at it. There it goes down the road. Coming towards us. Nice big greyhound. Beautiful dogs. Pace is now starting to shake. Look at it. It's got a big cover on it. It probably came from that project where they save greyhounds. Waiting for a break in the traffic to go. And we're out of here. On the road. Pace is squeaking. You can see it. See you later, guys. Oops, I'm filming while I'm driving. Don't do it, Clay.